Good afternoon. This is Tori with Property Preservation Specialist. I'm what's called a CMI, Certified Master Inspector. We're starting a home inspection today. And we're going to run you through the motions of things that we do throughout a home inspection. We're going to start on the exterior, the rear exterior, coming through the basement foundation walls, and we're going to take it from there. So follow me and join us, and we'll be doing sets like this once a month. Okay, we're at the rear of the home, where the deck is built at. And when you're dealing with a deck, you need 6x6 posts all throughout. This post in this particular home here, it started to shift, it twisted somewhat, due to the amount of water that's transpiring and ponding in the same area of the deck. So whenever you have a deck, you always want to keep water away from the post as much as possible, at least 5 to 6 feet away from the post, also the home's foundation. So you come here on a deck, if you had a deck built there before, you're looking at how it's tied into the home, the deck band, the ledger board here. All the bolts supposed to be lateral, staggered, up and down. And also you should have joist hangers, the metal pieces right there, so the joist doesn't shift. So this deck for the most part is pretty sound and sturdy. One thing we would have liked to have is some lateral boards because the deck is over 6 feet. So you should have had some lateral braces going across the deck in between the joists to ensure that the deck wouldn't shift at any point. So, and when you're underneath a deck, you want to, if you see such as this sand and dirt sitting here, you want to be able to put what's called a vapor barrier, a plastic sheathing. It's called a 6 mil. It's a plastic sheathing, also with moisture rocks underneath here. Doesn't allow mosquitoes to pond in your area, and also keeps the water away from the home. You can go with concrete, you can go with pavers, something on a permanent status that always draws the water away from the home. So when you're dealing with the exterior, come outside, look around your exterior. If you see any water ponding, that area needs to be raised up so the water runs away from the home. Alright. We're going to move on to the next thing. Your AC unit. This unit here is well past its life expectancy. It's over 10 years old. You see all the dirt and debris that's on the coils. They've been dented. People may have been using a weed whacker or just damaging this unit over time. So the unit doesn't breathe properly. What's called is doing a short cycle. It cuts on and off. So if you have an existing home or you plan on purchasing a home, you always want to get a home warranty on the older unit that covers pre-existing conditions. Because if you don't, the unit will need to be replaced relatively soon. And you cannot buy an older unit. If you have to replace the exterior unit, you have to replace the interior as well, the interior 8 quarters, which will increase your costs. It will double your costs. So just be certain, if you have one, purchase a home warranty. And we'll post home warranty companies on the site. Okay, now we're entering into the CAD zone. It's called the combustible appliance zone. This is where your furnace, your water heater, and normally the dryer is. First, the room always has to be vented properly. Louver door or slats, such as 6x8 vents cut into the wall. The furnace is built with a certain amount of BTUs where they'll tell the builder or the developer who's installing it how much ventilation the room will need, depending on the square footage of the room. So as we enter into the CAD zone, we got the furnace first. The furnace here, the first problem that we see, you have a gas water heater, you have a gas furnace. You look at all red knobs, these are your gas shutoffs. You remember, these are gas shutoffs here and here. The red knobs for the gas appliance here. This is called your CAD zone, combustible appliance zone. This area is the most important other than water intrusion of your home and how you treat this area. So what they have here, your exhausting here. I don't really like the way this exhausting because it's not rising. So you asking this to run through here and then try to make it all the way up through that chimney. Water heater has the weakest natural drafts. They don't draft well. And what's happening here is that this furnace, this filter hasn't been replaced. So coming in, you definitely want to get ducts clean. And also this filter doesn't fit the slot. See, it's too big. Okay. The filter's too big. So when you're dealing with that, but now what's happening is that suction from that, this pulls, it's called your return, it's pulling the air back to the unit. But it's pulling air out of this room that this needs to exhaust up. Oh. So this should always be closed. It should never take outside air. If it does, it's pulling the natural draft from this one, then you'll start seeing carbon deposits on here saying carbon monoxide is coming back into the home. So it's a small thing, but it's very important, it's very safe. So when you see house fires, normally it's in this area because it's under negative pressure. It's pulling air, where it's only supposed to be pulling air from a certain area, and not from here.
So what needs to be done here?
Just filter the right size filter,
Okay.
and put a top on top. Filter cover, a slot cover.
But how about that? The way it's drafting, does it need to be changed?
This right here, I would just get a plumber.
Let me go straight up?
Yeah. Wait, he has it coming up, and it's hot right here on the turn. So it's not terrible, but I would have liked to seen it a little up. So it's not one that you have to deal with right away.
Okay.
But if you come there and you start seeing deposits on here, then you can get someone to come and run it up a little different. But as of right now, it's not too bad. But I would like to see a different route. So when you see this is the heat that's coming up from it.
Oh, okay.
So it is getting up there. So at the point here, it is hot. And at the point here, this is the tape that they have on here, which is the incorrect tape. It should be a 181 tape that's on here. It'll have 181 on here.